Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching and subscribing to my channel. I really appreciate everyone who's come over from TikTok or you found me on YouTube through my reels. I really appreciate you guys coming to watch me. Today I'll be going over my May reads since we are coming to the end of May and I've decided that I'm probably only going to finish these 6. I've been trying to make sure that I'm watching my count. I actually have a list. It's not a pretty one, I still need to remake it, but I was also in the process of moving from Tennessee to South Carolina, so I wrote this quickly because I was moving like during January, so I knew I had to keep track of my reading. So I mostly made it up to 8 in January through March, and then for April I did fall behind to 6, and same with May, I seem to have fallen behind on it, but I also was reading I read 3 romantices and then 3 romance books this month. I will say Shield of Sparrows had a lot of interesting creatures that I've never thought of. So these had a lot of good, this had a lot of good creating new monsters, and also it has an arranged marriage. It's nice to kind of have a change where, you know, they have a princess point of view and that she cares about her position, but in this one she cares about her position, but she's also kind of seen as a nobody in her own family because they've always relied on her sister to take care of things, because she always saw herself as like, well, I'm just going to end up in a marriage as whatever my parents decide for me, and my sister is going to be the one who ends up in an important marriage. So the arrangement was supposed to be with the sister and the prince, but then the prince said, no, I choose her. And she's just sitting there like, what do you mean? I don't want any part of this. Please don't drag me into this. It's really good. I loved the world building. I loved the creatures in it. It's a very definitely, I will recommend it to just about anybody. I definitely encourage anybody who's looking for an arranged marriage with a little bit of actually a lot of bantering and new world fantasy. I would go with this. Silver Elite was really good. Like I said, it's based kind of like in a Fourth Wing, but also dystopian Shatter Me vibes. They also said that it gave, Divergent vibes too. I mean, I know a lot of people have like high expectations when they hear Fourth Wing and Divergent or Shatter Me. Like, to me, it actually gave me more Shatter Me vibes than it did Divergent. There was this one scene that maybe, I think it was like when they were on a sparring mat or something, and that's what they're kind of like perceiving as like, oh, that's Divergent. Like, I didn't think this was. If we're talking about Divergent had magical powers, maybe. But of course, I actually haven't read the Divergent series, but I have read the Shatter Me series, which is why I kind of see Shatter Me more. But again, I know a lot of people have high expectations when they hear those books, and they're like, oh, we're setting the example of this is how good it is. And I'm not saying it wasn't good. I thought it was an amazing read. I loved it very much, and it left me on a cliffhanger that I'm just really looking forward to the second installment. If you ever are interested in something with a little bit of fun vibes, and it's her first debut novel, I thought she did great. I absolutely loved it. And map. I love fantasy. I think that's what draws me so much to the fantasy world, is that they always have a map. I have come across one book that had no map in there, and I was so sad. I don't even know where that book is anymore. I think I got rid of it. I don't know. I don't really remember, but I do remember that there was no map, and I was like, that's like the the whole point. Shadow Bride. Now this is the second installment for The Scarlet Veil. It did end on a cliffhanger, and this is YA versus the other two that are new adult. This is more young adult, but I will say the first book was more young adult, and this book had a lot more intimate scenes that were a little more open door, but not like completely, it wasn't too graphic. But I did really enjoy this book. The ending, it was good. It was just not what I was expecting it to be. You know, it left on a cliffhanger on the first book, and then we go into it, and I was very hooked into it. I think the ending, it was a happily ever after with the unexpected turn. Really loved this. If you haven't given it a try, she also wrote the series, the Serpent and Dove series. I really enjoyed that series, especially when I first started off reading books. And so it was nice to be able to, it's also connects to the Serpent and Dove series. It's just one of the other characters who's brought in. I have to give it a shot. On to my romance. Of course, everyone's anticipated read of Anne Huan is King of Envy. This was so good. Starts off with Ayana being engaged to Vuk's best friend. It throws Vuk through a completely wormhole where he's just like, he saw her first, but of course he doesn't say anything. He's very brooding, very quiet. He doesn't speak unless he needs to, and it explains it more in the book, and I absolutely loved how this ended up coming out. I did get the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition, so it came with this cute little print. Really beautiful how Anne Huan wrote this book. Loved the tension between the two characters. And you just definitely have, if you have not read Anne Huan, I would recommend you read her Twisted series before you're getting into the Kings of Sin, because Twisted does have connections throughout the book, which is nice because you get to revisit those characters from the Twisted series. But of course, it's not a complete need, but I will say my experience would not be the same if I didn't read the Twisted series first before I got into King of Sin. Another great romance author that I absolutely love reading is Elsie Silver. The Gold Rush series is technically the first series because they're, again, interconnected characters that come throughout the book. This is the last one of the Gold Rush series, and it comes with an exclusive chapter that actually ends up being in the beginning of Flawless. This was a really great read. I was waiting for her to come out with Wild Eyes, which is a book I read last month, and I devoured that book. That book was so good. Elsie Silver always does a fantastic job. I love her as an author. She always does an amazing job. And this one also came with some character art. I love when they give character art in here. It's so sweet. And then, of course, my last read of this month is Always Mine. Always Mine is set to a friends to lovers. I did enjoy this one because it was very sweet. He had a nickname for her, and her nickname ended up being the bakery that she owns. And they've been best friends since kindergarten, which I think is so sweet. He starts off as this player who's just kind of been around, and she, of course, she's only had one relationship. It becomes kind of a strings attached kind of thing, but they also wanted to stop anytime they would cross the line, and they didn't want to cross the line, but it's kind of one of those, you know what, F it. So going into June, I will be starting off with these 4 books that I've already bought. I have Enchantra. I'm actually in the middle of reading that right now. My bookmark's gone. I'll find it. I'm probably only a little bit, they only just started the games in Enchantra, so I'm very excited to start this. It starts off with, welcome to Enchantra. There's only one rule, never ever trust your heart. Genevieve Grimm's mother dies and is left with questions no one can answer. She receives an invitation to Enchantra, a cursed palace in Italy, frozen in time. Though denied entrance by the sinfully handsome yet hostile Rowan Silver, Genevieve finds her own way in and soon realizes her mistake. So I'm really enjoying this so far. I love when it's like a forced arranged marriage. I would say it's kind of forced, but not in a, well, actually, no, she's kind of held against her will in a way. She put herself in a situation when he told her to go away, she was like, no. And she found her way in, and then she was told she can't leave. And not because they don't want her to leave, it's because they can't do anything to let her out. The devil himself is locked them in because of a curse on the family. She realizes her mistake, and then she tries to leave, and it's like, girl, they told you that they're not letting you leave because they can't let you go. So the only way she can compete is if she is one of them. She has to be a silver, otherwise if the devil found out, he would kill her. Like, there would be no game for her to play because she's not a silver, so she has no reason to be there. I'm really excited to finish this. This is close to me. So it starts off with a sexy enemies to lovers sports romance, and I do love my sports romance. Asher Davis is many things to me. My first crush, my first kiss, and most importantly, the boy who broke my heart more times than I can ever count. Is a standalone for the Callahan series, but I know that you end up seeing the Callahans in the interconnected stories that she has more in her newer books. Then of course we have the Honey Mountain series. This is the second book that the man she avoided for nearly a decade is her new client. Don't miss a small town romance capturing the book talk's heart. Hawk Madden was my first love. I thought he would be my forever, except life or loss is rarely fair. And it comes to fight or flight, I always run. So this will be definitely like a push and pull kind of romance, which I kind of excited for, but I know it's gonna be that, like, oh my gosh, just kiss already. Is Firebird. This one is supposed to be about a conqueror captivated. He was enthralled by the dancer. A witch prophesies to save them all, a world where dragons rule Rome. Years later, the fierce beauty stands before him on a scarred battlefield. Her life is in danger, and he instinctively shifts into a powerful dragon form to save her, an action that many mean his head on an imperial grave. So this will be an interesting fantasy read for me to try. Pretty much convinced by the sprayed edges. That's like so pretty. I like that a lot. And then they've got this beautiful map in here. So this will be an interesting read for the next month. I'll try. I always say that this is my goal. I'm going to read it this month, but I also bought this in April. So I didn't even read it this entire month of May, even though I was like, oh, I'm going to read that. And then I got distracted by Silver Elite and Shield of Sparrows, but that's okay because I know that sometimes I put off books like this because I just end up finding more books, which is why this is going to be a goal read, and I will tell you how it goes for this month. Thank you guys so much for watching. So my goal is to be more active on YouTube, and I hope in the next coming weeks I'll have more content to come out with you guys. Things are definitely getting busier. The summertime is crazy. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a beautiful day. Bye!